Jeffrey gets nervous around girls. Every day he obsesses over Jessica, watching her in class, dreaming about asking her out and thinking of her when he listens to music. But he's never even spoke to her. Every time she walks near him, Jeffrey feels a spike of anxiety. His palms begin to sweat and he tries to avoid her, or he overthinks about what to say to her, but then he never even speaks to her. Adonis sees Jeffrey struggling and understands exactly what he's going through. Young Adonis also used to obsess over women, and he was so nervous and he never spoke to any of them. But then Adonis did something to destroy his nervousness, and now he couldn't be more confident around women. Adonis puts his hands on Jeffrey's shoulders. "There's a better way, young Jeffrey. I'll teach you how to start." There's a quote from Andrew Tate that I really like, so I'm going to read it to you. "If you approach a girl and try to talk to her and you fail completely, within 30 seconds, she's gone. She's forgotten. Whatever you've been through in your life has yet to kill you. Going over to that girl and her rejecting you, you won't die." Come on now, little bro. Let's go over 10 ways to be less nervous around women. Number one, and probably most important, why, bro, every time I do one of these clickbait videos, there's 7 ways to get girls. There are 3 things. I do these like somewhat clickbait titles and try to still make them like really educational inside the video. But every single time I do a video like this, number one, the first point that I always tell you when it comes to getting girls is to stop watching porn, and even the softcore stuff that you see on TikTok, and Instagram's literally just softcore porn. TikTok's mostly softcore porn, and you can cope all you want and say like, "Oh no, my TikTok's full of Andrew Tate shorts," and yeah, it probably is, and "Oh, my Instagram's full of just UFC and football stuff," and yeah, it probably is, but you're still probably seeing more ass on your Instagram than your entire bloodline has seen before you, so it's still gonna mess you up, isn't it? Why is it that porn makes you nervous around women? Well, just think about it. It's messing up your brain, and it's doing it in such a malicious way, because when you watch porn, especially like video content that you see on like Pornhub or something, usually what you're watching is another man piping the girl that you want. And so you're sat there like some weird man who's going to be in the corner watching this couple have sex, and you're conditioning and programming and training your brain to be aroused at the fantasy of other people having sex in front of you. You train your brain to like that. And then eventually when it comes to speaking to girls, you can't help but to have images and feelings of feeling like a cuck. You can't help but think about the other guys that she's maybe spoke to or been with. Or on the other hand, for a lot of guys, it makes you quite weird at speaking to girls because you have the flashes of thousands of images and videos of, girls getting nailed in this way in like some big gangbang with BBCs and everything. It messes up your expectations. You're so conditioned to watching these women who have had surgery, and even there's video editing going on and everything. So eventually when you see just like a normal woman in front of you, it's disappointing. Her titties aren't perfect. They're not fake. Oh, they're not like double D's standard yet. She's not making moans like Madison Ivy does. Watching a lot of porn, and especially the softcore stuff that you see on social media, it makes you nervous around girls, because I want you to imagine, let's say a schoolboy, he's in high school, right? He's like 15 years old, and he maybe has like a crush on the girl that is in his class. He's 15, it's normal to be like, a little bit of a Jeffrey, so he goes home, he's on his phone, and he's on TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram, and that girl that he's kind of got a crush on has just posted a TikTok today where she's doing one of those challenges that are like child baits, which is literally like, it's the culture of TikTok to promote child. It's fucking disgusting. TikTok is weird, bro. But yeah, so he sees her doing one of these sexual dances on TikTok, right? And he watches it maybe 4 times, 5 times, and he sends the link to his friends. And she's not even nude or anything. That'd be way too far. She's fully clothed, but it's like, yeah, she's still young. And he's seeing this and seeing her in this sexually provocative way. When he sees her next, is he gonna speak to her just completely normally with that image in his mind? Or is he gonna stumble over his words a bit more? Is he gonna be nervous and a little bit weird around her? We're very deep into this like modern hyper-sexualized narrative, but it's extremely hard to have normal, healthy conversations and developments and relationships with women who have shown off their bodies in a sexual way online. It's extremely hard, and it's never worth it anyway. A man who respects himself, I don't think, would really go there. But if she's been making all these like sexual TikToks and ass pics on Instagram and everything, it makes you weirdly nervous around her, because it just does something to your brain, which is, it just feels weird. It's probably some caveman stuff of like seeing her hyper-sexualized online. Your caveman caveman brain thinks, yep, she's easy, but then she acts like she's not easy in person, so it's this weird mix that you know, it's just that our primal brains aren't used to this. It's not used to this hypersexualized nature. It's not used to you being able to log onto a website and see the unreal, infinite amount of variety in women, and for you to trick your body and your soul and your brain to thinking that you're ejaculating with one of these women right now when you're literally just tugging it by yourself. So of course you're gonna feel weird and nervous around girls. And I don't say this to humiliate you or to make you feel bad if you do watch, you know, porn still. But you can see from, you know, so many videos online, so many guys are taking a big step back from porn because we just are realizing like it's actually so bad for us. And so here's yet another thing that it's bad for us with. The second way to be less nervous around girls is to be around them more. Now I don't mean you have to go out there and, you know, date more women or anything, but simply being around girls more, whether it's in class or it's in sports or events or cafes, anywhere, literally just having more women around you that you're casually speaking to. Maybe it's a female barista that you're ordering from, maybe there's a girl in your little study group in high school or college that you've developed. These small things of just having like a woman who's somewhat friends with you, you know, you're not even like close, but you know, you just, yeah, you sit and you do work together, you, her, and like 5 other people. This will actually let you subtly practice some small things because, you know, it just seems so weird sometimes to speak to girls, and so this can normalize it. Because for me personally, when I was younger and I was in high school, my mom had this level of control over me where she didn't want me to, like, you know, be around girls or to speak to them in any way because she thought they were a distraction, and she was 100% right. But obviously I was still distracted because I was going through puberty and I was desperate. And my brother had the same kind of influence on me as well, of, you know, this kind of thing of like, no, we don't speak to girls, you know, they're just weird, whatever, they're a distraction. And so what happened was that I was quite awkward and nervous around girls for a very long time. And I can tell you that, you know, I went to some like parties when I was 15 or 16 and there's girls there and I was just weird around them. Not, you know, I wasn't saying anything weird, I wasn't being like creepy or anything, but I just, you know, I didn't know what to do because imagine it's one of the first times that like a girl's next to you outside of school and you just kind of freeze up when she's talking to you, and, you know, you're like, you can't even hold eye contact. We're sat on the couch in a party or something, you know, like some young party you go to at 16 years old, it's your friend's birthday party or something. And I'm like barely even holding her eye contact, looking straight forward and like, you know, laughing at jokes that aren't even funny or anything. When I compare that one random party, it was like one of my friend's 16th birthday party, to how I am around women now. And I'm not no pro or anything like that, but there's been a big amount of progress to like how comfortable and confident I am around the opposite sex, because I've now actually had a good level of like practice of not even just dating, but, you know, just literally just having women around me. And I think university really did that for me because I lived in like a student accommodation building. So there was a bunch of guys, bunch of girls that I knew. You go to the gym, there's girls there that I've spoke to. People come to my place for like a party or, you know, to drink or whatever. So I was starting to surround myself around women, and suddenly being one-on-one, even getting more intimate, it didn't feel anywhere near as nerve-wracking as it used to just like a year or two before I went to uni. The third tip I can give you means a lot to me, but most people will think that this is a terrible tip. And maybe they're right, maybe I'm wrong, but this genuinely helped me to destroy nervousness. And this was to start to find guys, whether in real life or online, who are good with girls, who you can literally see how they are with girls. There's a video of like a guy who's flirting with a girl, or you've got like a male friend who you see who speaks to girls. Find the guy who's actually good around girls, who doesn't seem nervous, who actually seems to attract them. And then, this is what gets me hated all the time when I say this, copy them. I promise you right now that this is the truth. I would not be the man that I am today. I would not act in the way that I do, especially around women, if it wasn't for this one YouTuber named Joe Delaney. He's a fitness YouTuber and he seems to have a very good, mature relationship right now. But rewind a bunch of years and he was more like in this sort of party, aesthetic lifestyle. And, you know, when I was like 18 years old, that's what I was looking up to. It was like guys who were like quite fit and muscular and who were going out and being like confident around girls and partying. And so watching this guy's older videos, I think they're like 5 years old now, where he's like vlogging and showing highlights of like parties and everything, and he just seems so confident and comfortable around women. Watching that, and I promise that this is the truth because it sounds kind of lame, I'd literally just watch this guy, you know, his videos where he's with some girl or something, and I'd copy the way that he spoke and his mannerisms and, you know, imitate it in my own kind of personality. So I was copying his style with my interpretation of it, which at that point, you know, becomes like almost like a unique version. You know what I mean? It's technically copying, but then the way that you copy isn't always 100% exact because you've got your own bite. You know what I mean? So essentially I copied, but it's not 100% copy because I'm still a hero person and stuff, right? I think a lot of people find this like incredibly lame or something, so you don't have to follow this advice. But personally for me, this changed my life forever, honestly. I just found this one random YouTuber who's really, really good YouTuber. It's just the way that he talks and he's so casual and confident, and he's still got like this boyish personality which resonates with me because I've kind of got that as well. Maybe I've got it just because I was watching his videos. But either way, I just saw how he navigated this date that he went on like a picnic date with some girl from Tinder. And I kind of like integrated that myself. And this was one of the fastest improvements that I've had with women, or even just life in general, just because it was just so easy for me to just pretend to be a little bit more like him. And it sounds so weird to say this, because in this modern day, like, we extremely value individuality, and we think copying is a really, really bad thing. And again, you know, if you copy someone, of course you're not going to copy them 100%. It's pretty much impossible to do that. So it has your own twist to it anyway. So at that point, it's like you become a hybrid, not a copy of the, you know what I mean? So I can cope and tell you, yeah, it's not copying, whatever you want to say it is. Just what I would say, if you are open to this, go and find someone either in person or online, some guy who is like a role model to you that you know is pretty good with girls, and search specifically for, if it's online, like, you know, a video where your role model is with a woman, and to see how they navigate their relationship and the small mannerisms and the way they talk and how they present themselves and how they flirt with the girl. YouTube is amazing for this, because if you've got like a role model who's some kind of YouTuber, or, you know, he's got a YouTube channel, Jordan Peterson, Jocko Willink, David Goggins, you know, and all these guys, it could even be me. You can probably go and find a video of these guys who are your role models online, where they're with their girlfriends or wives, and you can just see how the dynamic is with them. And if you really like that, then you can copy that. The fourth way to stop being nervous around women is to actually devalue women, and especially sex, and to lower them off the pedestal that you've put them on. And honestly, it might not even be you who's put them on a pedestal. We live in a very hyper-sexualized era right now, where women are promoted to take off as many clothes as possible for the cope that this is empowerment, that they are more valuable when they're naked, which is kind of like what the patriarchy was saying. You know, feminism's stupid as fuck, and feminists aren't very clever, are they? Because they think that women taking their clothes off is empowerment, when it's actually more empowering if it's the opposite way around. Feminists aren't smart, we know that, right? But we live in a very weird place where sex is seen as like so